So, ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to talk about the immigration. We are going to talk about the most countries where most immigrants are from. This is just the last study of the immigration system. So the last study of the immigration show one very important situation about where the American immigrants are most from. So that study show the first country where most Americans are from is Mexico. It is very important to explain that this study was about the foreign born. That means people living in the United States but not born in the United States. So that study show, or that study help explain why we have today 20 countries. To repeat one more time, 20 countries where most immigrant foreign born in the United States are from. So that study show one, people from Mexico. The Mexicans are the first majority of the immigrant foreign born living in the United States. The second position from that study show the immigrant from China. From China, I repeat again. The Chinese are the second largest community of the foreign born in the United States today. The third largest community today of the immigrant foreign born in the United States are people from the Philippines, the Filipino immigrant living in the United States. The fourth largest community from that study are people from India. I'm not talking about the Indians, American. I'm talking about Indians, about India as a country, as an Asian country with their immigrant living in the United States. So India held the fourth largest community living in the United States, still foreign born, meaning not born in the United States, but living in the United States. The fifth biggest community today, according to that study, are people from Vietnam. The Vietnamese becoming the very largest community of the immigrant foreign born in the United States. So the Vietnamese are the fifth biggest community. The sixth biggest community today in the United States of the immigrant foreign born are people from El Salvador. Salvador is another Latin America country, very small country, but they have a lot of people, a lot of immigrants living in the United States. After the Salvadorian, that study show people from Korea, the Koreans immigrants living in the entire United States. At this point, it is very important to make a little explanation about the Koreans immigrant in the United States. The Koreans are from the north and from the south, but in this study they put them together. But most of them are from South Korea. So the Koreans living in the United States are today the 7th largest community. The 8th biggest community of the immigrant foreign born living in the United States today, from that study, are people from Cuba, the Cuban immigrant living in the United States. This is the 8th largest community. The 9 biggest community from that study, very surprising for myself, are people from Canada, the Canadian. Some people might ask themselves why the Canadian, it is a developed country, they are wealthy country, why the Canadian? I think one of the reasons is the Canadians are neighbors of the United States. Like just Mexico. But Canadians are not the first biggest community. They are just the 9 biggest community. So the Canadians are today the 9 biggest community. The 10 biggest community from that study show people from Dominican Republic, the Dominicans living in the United States. After the Dominicans, we have the 11 biggest community of the foreign born, again, living in the United States. That study show people from the United Kingdom, the British foreign born. Especially this last 11 months, the British keep coming in this country. We don't know for which specific reason, for Brexit or it, anyway, the British are still coming in this country. So the British are the 11th biggest community of the immigrant but foreign born living in the US. Very specific study, because it is not about the people born in the United States. That could be another result, but just people foreign born of these countries living in the United States. The 12 biggest community today from that study, after the British, we are people from Guatemala, the Guatemalans. The Guatemalans are today the 12 biggest community, the 12 largest community of the immigrant foreign born living in the United States. The 13 biggest community today from that study are people from Germany, the Germans foreign born. After the Germans, follow immediately people from Jamaica, the Jamaicans. This is one Caribbean country. They have also a lot of immigrants living in the United States, the Jamaicans, making Jamaicans the 14th biggest community, sorry. So after the Jamaicans, Back to Latin America, we have people from Colombia, the Colombian immigrant living in the United States from that very last study. So after the Colombian, the 16 biggest community today in the United States of the foreign born are people from Haiti, the Haitian immigrant living in the United States. 16 biggest community. The 17 biggest community, the 17 largest community I can say from that study of the immigrant foreign born living in the United States are people from Poland, the Polish immigrant foreign born in the United States. So after the Polish has a 17 position, we have people from Italy, the Italians. From that study, we learn also that the Italian, most of them are the young people still coming in this country. We know the Italian were the first immigrant in this country, but even this last study about the foreign born, only the foreign born living in the United States, the Italians are still a big immigrant for the United States. So the Italians are the 18 largest, biggest community. The 19 biggest community today are people from Honduras. It is another Latin America country, people from Honduras. And the last to get us to the 20 biggest community are people from Peru, the Peruvian. So this is today the situation of the immigrant foreign born living in the United States. Just to subscribe so you can have this update in our next live for this channel. I can say Makuna channel.
Ra